Hello, sports fans. It is Thursday, February the 21st, the year 2013. And as always, a lot to get to in the sports world. So let's get it going right now. We have a lot to cover today. I'm going to go through the NBA standings with you. I'm going to give you my Daytona 500 pick for Sunday. I'm also going to give you my picks for the Oscars, which are also on Sunday. Couple movie reviews for you as well. So we have a lot to cover today. Before we get to the NBA, let's get to some scores of note from last night. Let's start with the college basketball, where Kansas went into Oklahoma State and beat Oklahoma State in 2 overtimes in a classic game. A really, really competitive game. Both teams did not shoot well in the first half, but they were going at it back and forth. Really, really exciting game. Kansas holds on and gets the win. Very, very nice atmosphere there in Stillwater. I hope you guys caught that game. I mentioned it yesterday. I said it was a must-watch. It lived up to the billing. A double overtime game. Really, really nice game. So Kansas beats Oklahoma State after Oklahoma State had beaten Kansas in Lawrence a couple weeks ago. So Kansas, nice win by them. Also last night, Ohio State drubbed Minnesota. Minnesota, I'm telling you, they are a bubble team. Most people think they are a lot to make the NCAA tournament. I don't. They are 6-8 in the conference, and they play Indiana next. They could be 6-9 in the conference. The committee doesn't like when you're under 500, especially 2-3 games under 500. Minnesota's got to watch it. They are on the bubble. Also last night, UNLV edged Colorado State. That was a very nice game as well. In the NHL, the Flyers went into Pittsburgh and beat the Penguins. The Flyers have the Penguins' number, especially in Pittsburgh. The Flyers always seem to beat the Penguins in Pittsburgh. Over to your NBA, Indiana just thrashed the Knicks last night. I mean, the Knicks didn't even show up. Indiana is a solid team. I've been saying it all year. Getting Granger back. Indiana is a very, very good team. Do I think they're a championship team? No, but they're a very, very good team. They blasted the Knicks last night. Don't like what I see from the Knicks lately. The Knicks have been stumbling and bumbling lately. Overall, nice season. Not lately, though. Miami beat Atlanta. In Atlanta, it's funny. Atlanta had a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and Miami put up 40 points in the fourth quarter on Atlanta, and Miami went on to win. When Miami plays their A game like they did in the fourth quarter, nobody's better than them. Brooklyn, nice comeback win against the Bucks in Milwaukee. Brooklyn sweeps the home and home there, so nice job by Brooklyn. They're playing better. I got on them a couple weeks ago. I like to see Brooklyn taking care of business. Houston, really nice win at home over Oklahoma City. Very nice job by Houston. Harden went nuts last night. He almost had 50 points. He's been playing lights out for Houston, so nice win by Houston. And the Lakers at home last night beat Boston. The Lakers were really up for this game. They honored Dr. Bus before the game. You knew the Lakers were going to be up. Boston, on the other side, always gets the Lakers up. And Boston was coming off a back-to-back. They had played the night before in Denver. Boston has an older team. The Lakers hadn't played in the second half yet. This game set up perfectly for the Lakers. Dwight Howard actually had a nice game. Kobe had some nice words about Dr. Bus before the game. And Magic Johnson in the studio got very emotional. Very, very strange to see Magic Johnson so emotional. You're always used to Magic, smiling and laughing, even through all the stuff he's been through. He got very emotional in the studio. They lit up Dr. Bus's box with his chair up there. Very emotional scene out there in Los Angeles. The Lakers responded and beat the Celtics. So that is kind of some of your scores from last night. Without further ado, let's get to our NBA State of the Union. We're going to go in the NBA East first. We're going to start worst to first. Records, a little synopsis. Here we go. Let's start in the East. Number 15, the Charlotte Bobcats. They are 13-40. I mean, Michael Jordan as an executive has been awful. And by the way, did ESPN not overdo it last week with Michael Jordan's birthday? I mean, I could see one day on that. Did we need a whole week of Michael Jordan's birthday? I mean, every single day they were talking about Michael Jordan's birthday. I mean, my goodness, it was way too much. One day, yes, it was nice to see all the Jordan highlights and all that. He was the greatest basketball player ever. I mean, we all love Jordan. But do we need a week on his 50th birthday? I mean, I thought that was completely overdone. But anyway, Jordan needs all sorts of work with this Bobcat team. I mean, and Jordan, it always comes about himself all the time. The stories now is that, can he play at 50? He beat Kid Gilchrist, who's on the Bobcats, in a one-on-one. Michael, come on, it's not about you now. Let's improve your team. I mean, my goodness, you've been a terrible executive. You were bad with the Wizards. You're even worse here with the Bobcats, and it's still all about you all the time. You're beating Kid Gilchrist in a one-on-one. You could play at 50. Enough, Michael, enough. We know you were an all-time great. I mean, my goodness, start running your team correctly. You are as bad an owner as you were a good player. I mean, just an awful job by Jordan in the front office. And ESPN, terrible with that week-long ceremony on Jordan's 50th birthday. 1 day, fine. 7 days, come on. Number 14, Orlando, 15-38. They are 3-25 since late December. I mean, Orlando, what a mess they are. We'll see if they move Redick. Today's the trading deadline in the NBA, by the way. We'll see if they move Redick. There's rumors they may trade him. The Knicks possibly one destination for Redick. Number 13, Washington, 15-37. Wall is back. Since they got Wall back, they are playing slightly better. Now, listen, they're not going anywhere, but since Wall's back, they're playing slightly better. There is a little hope when he's back. When he's not in the lineup, they can't win a game. Number 12, Cleveland, they're 17-37. They have a young team. I like Irving. I like Thompson. Zeller looks like he could be something. The future could have something there for Cleveland, but they're still a long ways away. Number 11, Detroit. They're 21-34. Future is Knight, Drummond, and Monroe. They do have a good nucleus of young players, so I like what I see from those young players for Detroit. Number 10, Toronto. They're 22-32. Gay, since he got there, Rudy Gay, since he got to Toronto, is playing really, really well. I mean, he's been playing really well. Toronto is not a total dog team, but they're not a playoff team either. Number 9, Philadelphia. They're 22-30. Andrew Bynum, where are you? Bynum says he's going to be back in a couple weeks. I mean, they need him in the worst way. Believe it or not, they're only 3 games out of the playoffs. Considering they're 8 games under 500, that's not too bad. And considering Bynum hasn't played yet, if they get a healthy Bynum back, they could catch Milwaukee for the 8th spot, believe it or not. But Andrew Bynum, where are you? You said 2 weeks. I'm going to hold you to it. You got to get back on the floor. So those are your teams that would be out of the playoffs right now. Number 8, Milwaukee, 26-27. They're up, they're down, they're inconsistent. They just got swept at home by the Nets. Will they trade Ellis or Jennings? Like I said, today is the trading deadline in the NBA. I think they got to move one of them. I would keep Jennings and move Ellis. Ellis takes a lot of shots, shoots him out of a lot of games. As a matter of fact, last night he had a chance to tie the game at the free throw line at the end of the game. Missed 3 free throws. I personally would trade Ellis. We'll see if the Bucks can do it today. Number 7, Boston. They're 28-26. 8-3 since Rondo went out. Listen, they're showing resolve. We know Boston's going to battle you. They're an older team. They're not going to be so good on the road, especially on those back-to-backs like we saw last night in Los Angeles. I mean, they didn't have it last night. Boston's going to battle you, but in the end, their age is going to come back to bite them. And without Rondo, they can only go so far. Number 6, Atlanta, 29-23. Will Josh Smith finally be traded today? I mean, Josh Smith seems to be rumored to be traded for the last 2 years. Atlanta's hung on to him. They don't like the offers they've gotten for him. I know the Nets made an offer for Josh Smith. I mean, I know the Nets were offering Humphreys in a package. Not a great package. Josh Smith is a really, really good player. Very good player, so we'll see what Atlanta does with him today. Number 5, Chicago. They're 31-22. Derrick Rose practicing. Good sign for the Bulls. Get him back on the court. You'd love to see it. Bulls are 9 games over without Derrick Rose. Really nice job by Thibodeau. Number 4, Brooklyn. They're 33-22. Since the coaching change, the Nets have played better. PJ Carlissimo has done a really, really nice job coaching his team. Will the Nets make a trade? You know the owner is aggressive. Will they make a trade? The Nets are close. They're close to being in the upper echelon of the league. I don't think they're a championship team, but will they pull a trigger on a big trade? Josh Smith, I just mentioned it. Will they get him? Number 3, Indiana, 33-21. Granger is coming back. Indiana blows out the Knicks last night. Indiana, very, very nice team. Very impressed by Indiana. They got off to a slow start. They have been flying since. Number 2, the Knicks. They're 32-19. Knicks stumbling and bumbling recently. Got bombed by Indiana last night. Too many threes for the Knicks. Way too many three-pointers. I mean, I remember Pat Riley years ago said, taking three-pointers is like fool's gold. When they go in, everything looks great, but when you start missing them, it looks really bad. Knicks taking a lot of threes, missing a lot of threes lately. They haven't looked so good. Number 1, Miami, 37-14. Best team in the league. I mean, they've proven it. They went into Oklahoma City last week and drubbed Oklahoma City. Miami, when they bring their A game, best team in the NBA. Over to the Western Conference we go. Number 15, Phoenix Suns, 18-36. They are going nowhere anytime soon. It's going to be years until the Suns are respectable. They have very little talent on this team. Suns going nowhere anytime soon. Number 14, Sacramento. They're 19-36. Worst defensive team in the league by far. I think they're moving to Seattle. That's not official yet. I guess they're still holding hope that they can keep the team in Sacramento. What a joke this has become. Are they going to Seattle? Are they staying in Sacramento? To me, I still think they end up in Seattle. Right now, they're a lame duck franchise. They play no defense either. Number 13, New Orleans. They're 19-36. Will Eric Gordon be moved? If you remember, Eric Gordon last year in the offseason signed a offer sheet from Phoenix. New Orleans, because he was a restricted free agent, matched the offer. Now they're looking to move Gordon. So do they want Gordon? Do they want to move him? Eric Gordon's a nice player. He can play. He's always hurt, believe me. And you wonder if he wants to be in New Orleans, considering he signed an offer sheet with the Suns last offseason. Interesting to see if New Orleans moves him today. Number 12, Minnesota, 19-31, 4-20 without Kevin Love. Do I need to say any more? Kevin Love's got to play. He's going to be back maybe the end of the year. I mean, if they don't have Love, they can't win. Number 11, Dallas. They are 24-29. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. I don't expect them to be a title contender, but when you have Nowitzki and Brand and Mayo, I expect you to be a little better than this. I told you they're growing beards until they get to 500. I want to see how long those beards actually get. Long way back to 500. They're still 5 games under. The Lakers are 26-29. I mean, they did respond last night. They were very emotional. Howard played well. Rumblings now on Nash and Howard aren't getting along. The circus continues in Los Angeles. They still have a ways to go. One game last night isn't going to do it for me. They got to do it in a long stretch. They got to put some wins together, LA. I mean, so far it's been a complete circus there. Number 9, Portland. They're 25-29. Lost 6 in a row. Have a lot of youth. No bench. Very soft. 8-20 on the road. They can play at home, Portland. 8-20 on the road. Very soft team. Very disappointed in Portland. They got off to a decent start this year. They've fallen to pieces. Those would be your teams out of the playoffs right now. Here's your top 8. Number 8, Houston. They're 30-26. How good has James Harden been since they got him from Oklahoma City? I mean, I always liked Harden. I was sad when Oklahoma City got rid of him. I was hoping they could keep that core together with Westbrook, Durant, and Harden. Houston made a great trade here. Harden's been playing great. He almost had 50 points last night. He almost had 50 points. He's been playing lights out. Tremendous job by him in Houston. Number 7, Utah. They're 31-24. Another guy, Will Millsap, be traded today. Rumblings are he's on the trading block. We'll see if they move him. Number 6, Golden State. They finally won a game last night. They're 31-23. They had a free fall. They were flying, Golden State. Bogut came back. He's still a little rusty. He doesn't play back-to-back, and Golden State got in a real funk there, playing a lot of road games. Now they have a lot of home games coming up the second half of the year. We'll see if Golden State gets back to their winning ways. They did win last night. Number 5, Denver. They're 34-21. They hustle. They have veterans. They have good ball movement. Carl's a good coach. And Gallinari is playing really well. I like what I see from Denver. Very hard team to play at home in that altitude. Number 4, Memphis. They're 34-18. They've won 4 in a row since they moved Rudy Gay. You wonder how they would respond when they traded Gay. They've recovered. They've won 4 in a row. They have better ball movement with Gay. Remember, Gay takes a lot of shots. The ball kind of gets stagnant with him on your team. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. You wonder how Memphis was going to respond. So far, so good. Number 3, the Clippers, 39-17. They're healthy again. Paul and Griffin playing lights out. Number 2, Oklahoma City. They're 39-14. I'm sorry, 39-15. They lost to Houston last night. They basically can beat everyone but Miami. I mean, can they beat Miami? They had a chance to beat Miami last week in their own building. Miami blew them out. Oklahoma State's got to figure out a way to beat Miami. I mean, Miami's better than them right now. They were better last year. They're better this year. Oklahoma City is right there as far as an elite team. Can they get over the hump and beat Miami? Number 1, San Antonio, 43-12. They have a better team than last year. I still think the age of Duncan is going to catch up to him. Tony Parker's been great this year. You can't take anything away from Tony Parker. And how good of a coach is Popovich? I mean, he gets the most out of these guys. Even a guy like Splitter becomes a good player on San Antonio. San Antonio is better than last year. I still think the age on Duncan will keep him from winning a title, but they are better. You can never count them out. They're well coached. Parker's playing great. Ginobili, Duncan, we know the cast of characters. So far, tremendous job by San Antonio. 43-12. That's tremendous. And most of the time, these guys don't even play. Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker have missed a lot of games, and they're still 43-12. Tremendous job by the Spurs. Okay, so that's your NBA right now. As far as your Daytona 500 on Sunday, we know Danica Patrick qualified first. She's going to be starting in the 1 position. I don't think Danica Patrick wins this race. Most times when you start in that position, you don't win the race. I think the last person to start in the 1 position at that 1 was back in 2000. Danica Patrick doesn't have enough experience, in Daytona to win this race. She just doesn't. My 2 favorite drivers are Keselowski and Kyle Busch. I know a lot of people don't like Kyle Busch. I kind of get a kick out of his antics. A lot of people can't stand him. I understand that. I'd like to see Kyle Busch or Keselowski win. I don't think they're going to win. I'm picking Tony Stewart to win the race. I think Tony Stewart is going to win this race. I just have a feeling he's going to win this race. So Tony Stewart is my pick for the Daytona 500 on Sunday. I know a lot of people aren't into NASCAR, but if you're going to watch one race, the Daytona 500 is it this Sunday. So that's your Daytona 500. Before we get to the Oscars and some movies, let's go to what to watch over the weekend since I won't be with you till Monday. Let's go what to watch over the weekend. As far as your NBA tonight, Miami at Chicago, San Antonio at the Clippers. Very nice doubleheader. Friday, Houston at Brooklyn, San Antonio at Golden State, San Antonio on the back-to-back there. Saturday, Utah at the Clippers. Sunday, big game, Lakers at Dallas. Those 2 teams are fighting for the last playoff spot. Memphis at Brooklyn, Boston at Portland, Chicago at Oklahoma City. As far as your NHL tonight, Boston, Tampa, the Rangers at Ottawa, Islanders at Montreal, New Jersey at Washington. Friday, San Jose at Chicago, Florida, Pittsburgh, and we have Vancouver at Nashville. On Saturday, New Jersey, Washington, New York, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Tampa Bay, Carolina, and Sunday, Vancouver, Detroit, Tampa Bay at Pittsburgh. That's your NHL. As far as your college basketball tonight, Duke at Virginia Tech, Cal, Oregon, not great. Friday, St. Louis at Butler, very interesting game. Saturday, Georgetown at Syracuse, a must-watch. You have to watch this game. They're expecting a record crowd at the Carrier Dome. I think they can get 36,000. 36,000 for a regular season college basketball game. What a job by the Syracuse fans. And remember, the Big East is breaking up. Syracuse is going to the ACC. We don't know if these 2 teams are going to play again in the future. They've had a tremendous pass, these 2 teams. Have to watch this game on Saturday. I think the game is on 4 o'clock Eastern time on CBS on Saturday. 30,000 at the Carrier Dome. Must watch. Arkansas at Florida. Remember, Arkansas beat Florida in Arkansas already this year. New Mexico at Colorado State. Very, very underrated game. Marquette at Villanova. Villanova on the bubble. Virginia Commonwealth at Xavier. Xavier's in big trouble in making the tournament this year. Stanford at Oregon. Sunday, Michigan State at Ohio State. Another good Big Ten game. The Big Ten is loaded with good games. Illinois, Michigan, another good Big Ten game. Cincinnati at Notre Dame. And Pitt at St. John's in the Garden. St. John's is really, really on the bubble. They need this game in the Garden against Pitt. Won't be easy. Pitt's coming off a couple of losses. They've had a couple of days to prepare. St. John's needs this game. Very tough, though, to beat Pitt. So that is where you are with what to watch. Now, let's get to our movies. I want to get to the Oscars, which are on Sunday. I also want to get to a couple movies that I just recently watched. I watched Skyfall. That's the new James Bond. That's the 3rd one with Craig. It started off good and kind of petered out to me. I mean, it started off better than it ended, and to me, endings are very, very important in movies. Out of the 3 Bonds that Craig has been in, I think this was the 2nd best. I like Casino Royale the best. I would give that 3 stars out of 4. The second one I gave 2 stars. I was very disappointed. Skyfall I would give 2.5. It was not great. It was definitely worth watching. The beginning's better than the end. I mean, do we need Albert Finney in the movie? I mean, Judi Dench, she's getting long in the tooth with her part as well. Javier Bardem, very good as the villain. Like I said, started good. I think it went downhill, though. 2.5, not awful, But when you're thinking of Bond, you'd like it a little higher. I was hoping for a 3-star movie, a little less than that. I would say I was a little disappointed. So I did watch Skyfall. I'm going to check out Argo and Beasts of the Southern Wild the next couple of days as well. I watched an old movie, Play Misty for Me. That's a Clint Eastwood movie. That's a 1971 movie. Kind of like a poor man's Fatal Attraction. Clint Eastwood is being stalked by this woman. Not as good as Fatal Attraction with Michael Douglas. Not even close. Out of 4 stars, I would give it, this movie, like maybe 2.25 stars. I mean, something maybe 2 stars. It was okay. Clint's always good and everything. A couple funny parts with Clint Eastwood as the girl is stalking him in this movie. Clint's always good. He's always worth watching. I would give it 2.25 stars. I would call it a poor man's Fatal Attraction. So those were a couple of movies that I did check out last week. All right, let's get to our Oscars, which is on Sunday. Now, I'm not going to go through all the awards with you. I'm not going to go through, best cinematography and, best cartoon. I'm going to give you the major awards, the awards I'm interested in, like Best Picture, Best Actor, Actress, Actor in a Supporting Role, Actress in a Supporting Role, Director, and as far as writing, Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Original Screenplay. Those are the awards I'm going to go through with you right now. As far as your Best Picture, this is who's up for Best Picture. You have Amour, you have Argo, you have Beasts of the Southern Wild, Life of Pi, Lincoln, Silver Linings Playbook, Zero Dark 30, Les Mis, and Django Unchained. First of all, you have 10 movies up. That's a lot. It's weird because some of these categories have more things up than others. Like, for Best Picture, you have 10 movies up, but yet for Best Director, you only have 5 people up. And Ben Affleck got snubbed. He didn't even get nominated for Best Director, even though he won, at the Golden Globes, and he's won all sorts of awards, and Argo's winning all these awards. Yet Affleck wasn't nominated for Best Director. I don't get it. And he only had 5 people up for Best Director. Well, why? Why only 5 up for Director, but you have 10 movies up? I mean, to me, that seems off. Let's start. Before we get to my picks, let me say this. These awards are very unwatchable. I mean, I like to see who wins the actual awards. But the thing is, they start the show, they give you a couple awards at the beginning, couple big ones at the end, but the whole middle of these awards is just garbage. It's just nonsense. It's people trying to be funny all the time. That's not funny. I mean, it's just bad TV. I even watched the Grammys a little bit last week. Those are the music awards. That show is unwatchable. Yeah, you like to see who wins the awards, but the whole show is unwatchable, and everyone's trying to be funny when they come up there. Every presenter who comes up there is trying to be funny, and they're not. It's like, just get to the awards. Instead of making the show 5 hours, make it 2, and just, announce the awards. I mean, I don't need all this fill-up time. I mean, you could just basically put on the Oscars the beginning and the end and catch all the major awards. The middle is just unwatchable stuff. All right, back to business here. As far as Best Picture, a lot of people are saying Argo is going to win. Argo is the favorite to win. I'm going to go with Lincoln. I think Lincoln, for some reason, is going to win Best Picture. As far as actor in the lead role, you have Bradley Cooper, Daniel Day-Lewis, Denzel Washington, Hugh Jackman, and Joaquin Phoenix. As much as I'd like to see Joaquin Phoenix win, he's not going to win. He said the awards were nonsense. I mean, they're not going to give the awards to someone that bashes the awards. I mean, he's a really good actor. He's been robbed a couple of times. I thought he should have won for Gladiator. He's a tremendous actor. I'd like to see Joaquin Phoenix win. They're not going to give it to him. He's bashing the award show, so they're not going to give it to him. I think it's going to be Daniel Day-Lewis for Lincoln. I think Daniel Day-Lewis takes it, so I'm picking Daniel Day-Lewis in actor in the lead role. As far as actress, you have Jessica Chastain, Jennifer Lawrence, Emmanuel Riva, Naomi Watts. You have, who else do we have here? And you have Wallace from Beasts of the Southern Wild. A lot of people say Jennifer Lawrence is going to win. I'm saying she's too young to win this award. I'm saying they're going to let her, let her make some more movies before they give her the award. I'm going to go with Emmanuel Riva from Amour. I'm going to say they give it to her. She's been around a long time. They like giving it to those old school people. Jennifer Lawrence, I feel like they're going to make her pay her dues before they give her the award. Just like Ben Affleck. They probably didn't nominate him because he's kind of a new director. So they want to make these people pay their dues. I'm going to say Emmanuel Riva from Amour wins Best Actress. As far as actor in a supporting role, you have Alan Arkin from Argo, De Niro from Silver Linings Playbook, Hoffman, who's a tremendous actor in The Master. Hoffman's already won. Tommy Lee Jones in Lincoln, and Chris Waltz from the Django Unchained. I'm going to go with Tommy Lee Jones from Lincoln. I just think these awards have a Lincoln feel to it. I think Lincoln it fits the Oscars for some reason. I think Lincoln is going to come up big here. So I think Tommy Lee Jones wins that. As far as actress supporting, you have Amy Adams in The Master, Sally Field in Lincoln, Anne Hathaway in Les Mis, Helen Hunt for The Sessions, and Jackie Weaver in Silver Linings Playbook. Anne Hathaway's going to win. She's been nominated a million times. She's finally going to break through here. Anne Hathaway's going to win for Les Mis, no doubt about it. That would be the biggest shock if she didn't win. Over to your screenwriting. As far as your best adapted screenplay, as far as writing, you have Argo up, you have Beasts of the Southern Wild, Life of Pi, Lincoln, and Silver Linings Playbook. I'm going to go with Argo here. I think they're going to win this award. As far as your best original screenplay, you have Amour, you have Flight, you have Moonrise Kingdom, you have Zero Dark 30, and The Django Unchained. That's a Tarantino movie. I'm going to go with Amour just by process of elimination here. I don't think they're going to give it to Tarantino's movie. It's too violent. The other ones kind of didn't get a lot of play as far as winning major awards. I'm going to go with Amour by process of elimination here. And Best Director, here we go. We have Amour, that's Michael Haneke. We have Beasts of the Southern Wild, that's Zedalin. We have Life of Pi, that's Ang Lee. We have Lincoln with Spielberg. And we have Silver Linings Playbook with David O. Russell. Like I said, no Affleck. Affleck should be in this category. You're telling me they can't have six directors up? I mean, come on. They have 10 movies up and only 5 people up for director. Ben Affleck should be included in here. I'm not saying he should win. He should at least be included. I mean, Argo's won a bunch of awards. Affleck's won already for Best Director, and yet he's not even nominated here. I mean, come on. To me, this goes to Spielberg. This goes to Lincoln. I think it's Lincoln's night. I think Lincoln is going to take home a lot of the major awards. I think they win Best Director here, and Spielberg wins yet again. So I think it's going to be a Lincoln night. A lot of people think it's going to be an Argo night. I think it's going to be a Lincoln night, so we'll keep an eye on that. Like I said, you can tune into the beginning of this show and the very end and catch all the major awards. In between, not much going on, but presenters trying to be funny, and they're not funny. So that is kind of where we are with our Oscars. That gets you caught up on everything that went on last night, everything that's going to come up over the weekend. A lot going on over the weekend. You got your Oscars on Sunday night. You got your Daytona 500 during the day. You have college basketball, which is winding down. You have your NBA. You have your NHL. A lot going on over the weekend. I will be back with you Monday. We'll recap everything. We'll recap the Daytona 500, the Oscars, the NBA, the NHL, everything else going on. Before you know it, we'll be into the baseball season. So you guys, enjoy today. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy everything you watch. Enjoy all the sports. Make sure you watch that Georgetown-Syracuse game. 4 o'clock Eastern Time on Saturday on CBS. 36,000 strong at the Carrier Dome. Must-watch TV. Definitely watch that game. I'll talk to you guys Monday. Take care.